Okay guys, so I was shopping at Dick's Sporting Goods today and I saw this bad boy and I just couldn't keep my hands off of it. I had to bring it home, do a review on it, and you know, whenever I think of Igloo coolers, I think of old and cheap coolers, because nowadays if you don't have a Yeti, you know, it's just like you're not in the cool crowd. But this thing is impressive. Just looking at it from the outside, this thing is massive. Look at these big wheels on it. I mean, are those 22-inch rims or what? So it's got a great appearance. It's sexy as can be. I mean, I would marry the thing if it wasn't for being $250. You've got this adjustable rail here on the outside. Comes all the way out here. That's not all it does though. Look at this. Open this thing up and you've got this tray conveniently hidden from everything else. It's got a couple of basically stop collars. You can pull this out, pops down right here. So now you've got a holder for anything you want, couple cup holders there. Not only does it hold this tray, but it's also gonna help you carry the cooler whenever you've got a lot of ice in there. Cause this thing is big, I mean, it's gigantic. I've got this Yeti Roadie 24. You can almost fit this cooler in there. In fact, you probably could. I just didn't want to scratch it up. But when you extend this thing out, it gives you a lot of leverage. It's a lot easier to carry. I'll go ahead and walk you inside here and show you just how much room it actually has in here. Another convenient feature that it's got is like a dry food. Say you got sandwiches, you throw your sandwiches in here, throw it up on here, and it slides back and forth on this rail. It does a lot better if you don't have these big bottles in here, but it keeps your food dry in case the ice does melt. But look at all this stuff we've got in here. There's 30 different items right now. You've got big whiskey bottles, 2-liter soda, your slim cans. Like I said, 30 different things. The only thing that kind of sucks about it is you can't slide this back and forth, which really is that's just being picky at that point, just because of the height of these bottles and the clearance that you have there. But this right here, this cable holds this from falling all the way over. The only thing I don't really like is it seems like it closes out here more often than not. So you could get that caught on something and, you know, rip something up, but as long as you shut it, tuck it in there, you're gonna be good. This right here is it's basically like your valuables spot. It'd be where you put your phone or your wallet. It claims to be waterproof or watertight, I guess you would call it. You throw your wallet in there, throw your phone in there, turn it over, close it up here. And you can also put a lock on there if you wanted to. Another convenient thing, this actually pops out. So if you didn't want it there, you wouldn't have to have it. You can stuff other stuff down inside here. I mean, this thing is almost like a minivan. You can pretty much, you can drive it to work if you wanted. You can fit all sorts of storage in here, but this slides back in just like so. Close this up here. Got cup holders on top. You've got room. You've got slots here that you can tie stuff down to. Say you want to put a big umbrella, you want to carry something up here like a towel or something. You can run your straps around it over the top, strap it in. Like I said, it's literally a minivan. You've also got bottle openers here on both sides. I mean, in case you're having a party, you know, because one's not good enough. You got to have two at all times. And also back here in the back, we've got, they call it an umbrella holder. The first thing I thought about is like a fishing rod. Say you take this thing to a state park or something, you're hanging out in the shade, sitting on top here. You want to put your pole down for a minute, slide that sucker in, it's not going anywhere. And also if that's in the way, you just slide it out and leave it. Leave it at home and it's not going to be a problem for you. So one of my favorite parts about it is is it seems like it's constructed really well. None of the features seem to go against each other. For instance, you can slide this tray back and forth without this screw being in the way. I mean, this thing is really, really thought out. And for $250, you're getting a way better deal from Igloo than you are from any other company. Because there's like the Yeti 45. It's about the same size. It's not quite as bulky. This thing is a little bit bulky, I will say that. But you've got aluminum rails on it. It really seems like it's designed to last, and I think it will. But the only other part that we can review of this is the ice retention. Over here on the label, if you want to walk over here, or it says it over there too, it claims to have 4 days of ice retention, which is quite a bit. So we're gonna go load this thing up here in a minute and fill it to the top. I'm gonna take all these drinks out of here. So it's not perfectly simulated, but we're gonna fill it up with ice, opening it probably once a day, maybe twice a day at most. And we're gonna see if it makes that 4 days, because if it does, it's got Yeti smoked. But we'll see how it goes here. If I had to say one thing about it, is it's super, super bulky. So it's kind of tough to fit. You're not gonna fit in the back seat of your truck very well. And I'm afraid once I get enough ice in there, which it says 70 quarts, once I get that amount of ice in there, I feel like this thing is gonna be a monster, and it's gonna be hard to haul back and forth. But as you can see, it's got 4-wheel drive, so we'll see how the ice retention holds up and see if it's a good buy for you guys. All right, so I got 64 pounds of ice here. I'm gonna see how much I can put in here. Hopefully this covers it all. If not, we'll add some from the fridge. Here's the drain plug on here, by the way, I forgot to mention. It's got a little cord just like this too that actually holds the other cap on, but we'll go ahead and fill this thing up. Then we're gonna leave it at room temperature for a couple days, because it's gonna get really cold outside, and I don't feel like that will simulate conditions very much. Alright, so it took it all. You're probably not going to get that much ice in there normally, so I wouldn't think that you have to have 64 pounds just because of all the can space and everything you're going to put in there. It's going to take away some of the volume, but we're going to shut this now and check it here every once in a while. I don't even have enough room to put that in there now, but that's okay. So we're going to close it, see what kind of ice retention this thing has. Because we haven't opened it. It was all the way full last night. And you can see we really haven't lost anything. It's been 2 days since I've put ice in. Time for another check. And it looks like nothing has changed. 3 days after putting ice in it, I put the tray in there. We've got a little bit of melting actually going on here around the edge finally. So pretty good so far. We're gonna see what's in here. Still looking pretty good. A lot of it has melted, but there is still plenty in there to say that this thing holds ice 4 days. You can see there's quite a bit of water in there. I debated draining that out, but I think I'm just gonna leave it. So we'll let it go another night and see if this thing can hold ice for 5 days. Alright, so this is night number 5, and we still have quite a bit of ice. It doesn't really look much different from last night, so I guess we'll give it another night and hopefully it melts, because I'm tired of doing this. Night number 6, and we still have, I mean, it looks like I'm looking at the same thing for the past 3 or 4 nights. I'll go ahead and scoop this a little bit. Still a lot of ice. I think I'm gonna go ahead and try to drain this water that's in here just to see if that has any effect. I was thinking that the ice would cool down, not cool down, but warm up to the water's temperature, and that would accelerate things, but it doesn't seem like it's going to. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to drain some of this out. Alright, so it's night number 7. It's been a full week and we still have ice once again. Alright, so I got tired of the controlled environment, so now I'm going to put a heated blanket underneath. I've already done that, and then a weighted blanket on top of it, and then I surrounded it with pillows to help hold the heat in. So no more of this room temperature, 70 degrees. We're gonna try to bump it up to about 90 or so, hopefully, and induce some ice melt from there. Alright, so it's night number 8, and we're finally getting down to the bottom of this. Alright, so we are 8.5 days in, and the ice is finally to a point where I'm going to call it no good. I'm going to say that this thing would hold ice 9 days. As you can see, there's not too much more room in there, where if you had a drink in there, it'd probably be like halfway up it or less. So I'd say 9 days, which would be about 6 or 7 more hours, is the right call on that for the test. So overall, this thing has pretty good ice retention, a lot better than my Yeti Roadie 24 had over here. I think this was like a couple days. This was a little bit different conditions though. We kept it inside the whole time because it's only like 20 degrees out right now, and I wanted to keep it in at room temperature, which was about 70 degrees. So the last few days we did put a heated blanket over the top of it, and then a weighted blanket over it to kind of simulate some warmer weather, and it did a good job because you could feel the outside of the cooler and it heated up a lot. But overall, this thing is really impressive as far as ice retention goes. As you can see, it claims that it can hold it for 4 days, and I got 9 out of it. I know that I didn't have any drinks in there, but I know that would probably knock off a day or two at least. But even if you're looking at 6 or 7, that's better than advertised. So overall, I think it's a good job by Igloo on ice retention. And biggest downfall of this thing is just the overall sheer size of it, the bulkiness of it. I'd say the biggest pros of it are the wheels and this rail that gives you a lot of leverage to haul it around. It's easy to wheel around. Another con would be that it's super heavy to pick up when it's loaded with ice. But at a price point of $250, I believe that's still cheaper than the Yeti Roadie, or is it Yeti 45? So if you want to save a few dollars and still get a really good looking cooler, this Igloo might be the way to go for you. Alright guys, if you have any questions, any comments, leave them in the comments below, and I'll try to get back to them. If not, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for future videos. Thanks.